7th Vision Zero Advisory Committee meeting. Ms. Ruth, if you please call the roll for quorum.
At this time, I'm only asking those VZAC members attending in person to respond by saying here when I call your name. Alternates, please also state your name if you are attending on behalf of a VZAC representative. As a reminder, please press your microphone button once to turn on and off. Bruce Rosenwig,
I'm here.
Chris Kimmerly,
Here.
Joanne Scaria,
Alternate here, Samantha Maroney.
Fadi Nazar,
Here.
Ryan Mugridge, JC Beery,
Here.
David Willock,
Here.
Daniel Dunas, Farah Tekbali,
Here.
Simone Marseille, Christian Santa Gonzalez, Joel Rosales, Christine Perdomo, Tim Crespo,
Here.
Clinton Williams, Tracy Phelps,
Here.
Stephanie Thoborn,
Here.
Martha Morales, Catherine Wall. Thank you. We have a quorum.
And Daniel just arrived.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
And my name wasn't called.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sunil?
Oh,
I'm by myself over here. I forgot.
sorry, you were missed. Thanks.
Where are
Sunil.
you, Sunil?
We'll mark you as present.
Yeah. Can't forget Riviera Beach. It's important. Okay, so are there any additional modifications to the agenda?
No, Madam Chair.
Okay. So welcome, everybody. Next item is the minutes from March 3rd, our last meeting. Any changes to the minutes? If not, can I have a motion to adopt the minutes?
I'll make the motion.
David, Willock, and Fadi seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. How many do we have today? Two,
We have, I believe we have now 12 people present.
12, okay. Okay, so next item is general public comments and public comments on the agenda. There are instructions on how to provide public comments that are included in the agenda. Are there any general comments that have been received?
No, Madam Chair.
It says we met on March 3rd. Okay, so let's move forward. Any comments from the board? Where did Sunil go? Oh, okay, so I can't see you. Any comments from the board starting from Sunil on this side? Any news anyone wants to bring up? Anything exciting? Any revelations? How about this side? Tracy? You got some comments for us? Something good?
No.
Oh, no. Okay.
In the minutes of March 3rd, was I in present? Because I don't remember something on March 3rd. That seems too soon.
I'll have to take a look and let you know, but we did have a meeting on March 3rd.
Here, look at this and see if you were there.
Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
Farah.
I guess I wanted to share on behalf of Palm Train that starting May 17th, we will have Tri-Rail service to the airport.
Nice.
Tri-Rail is getting rid of their Uber voucher. So Palm Train is operating Route 2 to Palm Beach International Airport. And that's like a 30-minute service.
Nice.
No, it's a Palm Train bus, the Route 2. It used to be, I think, an Uber voucher that Tri-Rail operated.
So Palm Tran bus will be provided to the airport, a shuttle.
Yeah.
And then how often are those?
every 30 minutes,
Every 30 minutes.
and it drops you off in front of the airport.
Oh, that's great. That's a,
No, it will be free if you're going to the airport from Tri-Rail.
from Tri-Rail to Palm Tran. Yeah, yeah, we definitely needed that. How do we find out more information? Go to Palm Tran?
Yeah, you can go to our website. I think Tri-Rail probably is advertising it, but it starts May 17th.
May 17th. That's
Excellent.
great. That's good to know. So just following up on Tracy's request on March, the agenda says March 3rd and then the minutes say March 5th. That's why he was requesting additional information. Thank
Okay.
you, Tracy.
Thank you, Tracy. We'll update that.
Well, you were here, so, but thank you for clarifying that. Anyone else on this side, Fadi or no? David?
I'll just bring up the county transportation master plan. We're having a meeting later on today out at Mounts. It's for invitees only, but it is progressing and probably within a couple months, we should be presenting the findings.
Okay, great. Yeah, I know that. Oh, I know that just on that note, I know that there's also like individual, what it's doing that I'm seeing from a regional perspective is that like the North County planners and engineers are getting together and they're talking about their needs so that when they show up and have these meetings, they can talk about things more regionally. So it's getting people talking, getting people working together, and I think that's really
Yeah, that's
good.
exactly what it is. Yeah, this meeting I think is the regional meeting. So
Fadi.
Yeah, for the Palm Beach safety plan, we have a final document and we are hoping that this month the commissioner will adopt it.
Okay, great, great. Thank you. Thanks for everybody. I don't have anything extra. Oh, you do have one, Tracy? Okay. Your time passed, but I'll let you go.
So tough on me today. I'll just forget it anyway, so. Boca Bike Rodeo is May 30th,
Oh,
so hopefully, see a lot of TPA people there volunteering to help us out, because it's probably gonna be hot, so. Expect a pretty good turnout, maybe not as big as last year, but,
where is it?
it's at the park across street from Spanish River Library. I don't know the name of the park, so I don't really go to parks, but, it's on Spanish River Boulevard across from Spanish River Library.
Great. Thank you so much. All right. So, with that, we'll move on to the VZAC liaisons report, and Margie Tamblin, Senior Multimodal Planner, will provide our update.
Good morning, everyone. All right, first and foremost, happy National Bike Month. Municipalities are encouraged to celebrate National Bike Month in May by celebrating National Bike to Work Week between May 11th and May 17th, and Bike to Work Day on May 15th. Learn more at bikeleague.org/events/bike-month. National Bike Enroll to School Day was yesterday, May 6th. And you can find resources to plan an event, hopefully in the future for next year, and see who's registered at walkbiketoschool.org. Safe Streets and Roads for All, SS4A grants are available. That funding cycle is open for fiscal year 26. I've reached out to a lot of municipalities asking them if they're applying. If you are applying, let me know. We can get you a support letter. We'd love to do that and just coordinate with FHWA in regard to that. Applications are due May 26th at 5 p.m. Learn more at transportation.gov/grants/SS4A. Autonomous Vehicles Conference and Autonomous Vehicles Forum will be held May 29th at the Boca Raton Innovation Campus. You can register at autonomousvehiclesconference.com. E-bicycles and golf cart workshop, we will be holding that here, actually not here, virtually on June 4th from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. You can register at palmbeachmpo.org/e-bike golf carts. Bicycle Friendly America designations. Those application deadlines are June 27th for bicycle friendly communities and August 5th for bicycle friendly universities. You can learn more about that at bikeleague.org/BFA. The countywide master plan, as David mentioned, is in progress at the moment, and you can learn more about that at pbcmoves.com. And to get involved and find out more resources about what we're doing and, seeing what we're up to, palmbeachmpo.org/participate. And that's all I have.
Thank you for that. Are there any public comments on the liaison report?
No, Madam Chair.
Okay. Any questions for Margie? Anybody? No, no? Okay. So action items. Our first action item is an amendment to the fiscal year 2026-2030 transportation improvement plan. Did I miss something? I thought we were doing something else first. Okay. So we're doing I thought that agenda was different than, yeah, okay. Okay, never mind. So the tip is the 5-year federal and state funding program for transportation projects in Palm Beach County. This amendment adds design and construction funding to a new project on County Road 880. And Andrew Euler, Deputy Director of Programs, will provide an update.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, everyone. So yes, this is amendment for number 3 to our transportation improvement program. It's involving one project, County Road 880, which is a reconstruction project in the Glades area. It's not specifically a pedestrian bicycle product, but it is a big project with a lot of implications. We're going to go through the tip amendment, and I'll do that in a little bit here about that process. But first, since it's a product with a lot of history and there's a lot going on with it, we do have FDOT staff here, Charlie Dominguez, who's going to provide a little bit of background, and then I'll finish up with the process for the amendment.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm Charlie Dominguez. I work for FDOT in the design section, in-house design. I work under the project manager for this project, Chris McCurdy, and I'm presenting this on behalf of her. So this is the rehabilitation of County Road 880 from MLK Junior Boulevard to Southern Boulevard. And we'll go ahead and get started. So agenda, we'll talk about project location, some background information, some recent developments, existing condition, project overview, design and construction estimated timeline, and project funding. So background about the project, just general location where it is. I'm sure you all are familiar with where everything is, but either way, nearby city of Belle Glade. The project will be from the limits mentioned earlier. You can see in the yellow line where we will be tackling the project. So, and we're also going to be handling that first phase of the project, the first 6 miles of the project, or where we'll be focusing our initial construction and design. You can also see State Road 80 runs parallel as like an alternate route to County Road 880. So background information, County Road 880 was originally constructed in the 1920s on top of existing organics, more commonly known as muck. The road is a 2-lane, 2-way roadway, and it serves as a primary route for agricultural, truck traffic, and passenger vehicles. County Road 880, formerly State Road 80, was transferred to the county in 1994. It serves a secondary route, as State Road 80 is mentioned earlier, and there are several bridges within the project limits, and 2 of those bridges are scheduled for replacement by Palm Beach County. Those bridges being the County Road 880 bridge over the C-51 canal, which was originally constructed in 1937, and the Sam Setner Road Bridge, which has an anticipated letting date for December 2026. Some recent developments on this on this road. Palm Beach County and for the life of this project as they've owned it, have been working with stakeholders and performing regular maintenance along the road. And recently, FDOT has been working with partners for solution-driven approaches to roadway improvements. We've been working with the agriculture industry, meeting with them, hearing their feedback and what they just since they're a major stakeholder of this road, hearing from them, and also working together with Palm Beach County as they currently own the road. Existing conditions, the pavement of the road is in not very good condition due to the unsuitable underlying soils. If you drive on the road, you notice as you move further and further west, the road starts to have a really bad ride. It starts to feel quite bumpy, and there's a lot of cracks and just generally bad pavement. As you can see on the picture to the left, there is a guardrail that no longer meets FDOT criteria. It's far too low and needs to be raised in order to meet the current criteria. And the bridge over the C-51 canal, which is that bridge mentioned earlier that is being handled by Palm Beach County with their project, has reached the end of its service life. Just some project overview. The plan is hopefully to transfer this road from Palm Beach County to FDOT. This roadway transfer will create federal and state funding opportunities to better handle repairing this road. The TIP amendment is needed for fiscal transparency, and also we have gone under we have started some data collection for this road, that being pavement data, subsurface information, traffic data, survey, and title work to find out who owns what. With taking a look at that data, we were able to determine that that western first 6 miles are the greatest need, and we'll be prioritizing that, and then obviously moving along the corridor until State Road 80. And we have met with the various stakeholders of this road. As mentioned earlier, we met with the agriculture industry, and we got to know how big of a role Palm Beach County has with agriculture in the United States, how important this corridor is to them, and getting agriculture and all different produce that they produce throughout the United States. Project timeline, beginning in February 2026, began kind of the planning phase of this project. So we began working with our partners to identify innovative strategies to address the deficient pavement conditions, that being a feasibility study, which we are doing to evaluate different options to rehabilitate the pavement. We also conducted multiple field reviews and began that pavement condition investigation. In March of 2026, we participated with multiple meetings with Palm Beach County, and we also began the preparations to advertise the design services. And now in April 2026, the design services contract has been advertised. So that means that we are currently looking for consultants to perform the design of the project. And now the project at the moment is under the cone of silence, so I won't be answering any questions. I'm just giving information about this project. And in August and September 2026 is when we hope to have the contract finally executed and the design to begin. And summer 2028 is when we anticipate construction to begin for that western 6 miles, that being phase 1, and the preparation of the construction plans for the western 6 miles, and that is pending funding. And speaking of funding, project funding, a TIP amendment is required to align the project with the funding years. For DOT, we have $2.7 million programmed for design in fiscal year 27, and $32 million program for the construction, that being in fiscal year 28. And a little asterisk, the final local funding participation amount is to be adjusted based on the upcoming commitments. And that is all I have. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the project manager, Chris McCurdy. She can answer questions regarding this project and how it relates to you all. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, thank you, Charlie. Appreciate it. Did you have more to
Yes,
present?
and
Okay.
so then I'll just have a few slides. So Charlie provided the overview of what this product entails and sort of their timeline there. And then why it's coming before you today. This is a new project that's being added to the Transportation Improvement Program. So it does require a TIP amendment. Charlie already discussed the product, but it's County Road 80 from MLK Junior Boulevard to State Road 80, 18.7 miles. Ownership being transferred to FDOT. Here's another picture of the roadway. You kind of see the buckling and the uneven pavement as you head down the roadway and the safety concerns related to that. And so this triggers an amendment to our Transportation Improvement Program because it's adding a new product to the TIP. And just as a reminder, it only impacts the products in the amendment. So it's only County Road 80 that you're voting on today, not the full TIP. And more specifically, for the funding breakdown by the fiscal years and the funding sources, it's going to be design of $2.6 million in fiscal year 27 using Advanced Construction National Highway Performance Program funds. And then in fiscal year 28 for construction, it's a combination of that same funding source, so $7 million, and then 27 of local funding identified, which is Palm Beach County. And so total is 2.6 for design and then 34 for construction. More specifically on those funding codes, the Advanced Construction National Highway Performance Program, whenever you see advanced construction in the Transportation Improvement Program or the work program, that means it's state funds that are going to seek federal reimbursement in the future. So it is a federalized process, goes to the federalized process for this project, and they'll be seeking National Highway Performance Program funds for that in the future. The National Highway Performance Program funds are funds that go to the state, federal funds that go to the state, and then they are distributed on the needs basis for projects. A lot of the funds go towards the national highway system for resurfacing, for bridge projects, and then also for system performance, so like travel time reliability. So you think about some of those larger roadways on the national highway system, I-95, B-Line, that's sort of where that same funding source comes from. And again, it's really a combination of FDOT's priorities, and then the MPO here coordinates with them on those priorities, but really our role here is to support or not support the project, the TIP. It's open for public review, and it's going to be seen by the governing board for approval this month.
Okay.
So happy to.
All right. Do we have any questions for Charlie? I know I do.
I have a question.
Okay. So neat.
Sure. I have a question. So it was said that, and I'm not sure if we really go into all of this, but I'm intrigued. The feedback that was given by the community or by the farmers that were there, what were some of those feedbacks? And I asked that question because I'm trying to understand, as a farmer, I know we go day to day, waking up early, and I didn't notice any lights on the road. And that might be for a certain reason why we don't have lights down that road. And I don't know if that's part of the improvements that are happening. So I'm just curious, what was some of that feedback, and does that include a lighting package if that's necessary?
I'll let Charlie get into that. I know that we, in our communications, when we've met with community members out there, obviously safety concerns with the buckling of the roadway, just narrower lanes, and the buckling leads to issues with crashes. Also, the farmers have to move their trucks with lower total amount of product in the truck. They can't be at full capacity because it's a safety concern. So they've been having issues with that, and then supposedly also spoiling of products because of the extended time.
Slowly
delays in that.
making it over.
I don't know if you want to add.
Yeah, pretty much what Andrew said, and also, like you said, they have to take less produce with them just because of how the road is. If you ride it, it's very bumpy,
Yeah, I've been on.
and so the produce is actually falling out of their trucks,
Mhm.
and some of them even are driving like off, like kind of like where what you call the shoulder a little bit,
Mhm.
just to avoid the wheel path, and it's just not safe, and we're trying to make the ride better for the farmers.
Was lighting included on that?
I'm not sure if lighting was included just because I mean I wasn't there for the for the farm for
Okay.
meeting with the farmers. That was Chris. I'm speaking on behalf of her. So
Okay.
so yeah, I can't talk on that.
Thank you.
David?
I sat in on the Beeline 710 project that FDOT was contemplating. It was like a 6-mile project, I think, similar to this one. And they had talked about going down 30 inches or 36 inches all the way to sub-base because of the, underlying conditions in this area. And that project was $80 million. This one's $32 million for the same amount of roadway. It seems to me that they're not going to be going down far enough to actually tackle the real problem, which is the soft roadway.
Yeah, I can't talk to the extent of how much the funding is going to be able to handle the underlying muck, but we did do a feasibility report, and in that feasibility study they were able to see which ones they came up with different options, and it's just up to the design team with the amount of funding that they get to see how much they're able to tackle.
What's the plan right now? How deep?
I can't talk on what the plan is right now.
Fadi?
Following up on the light question, I thought that was moving forward,
There is lighting on State Road 80, but not, and that's ongoing now. It should be done by FPL by the end of this year. But I don't know specifically about. I don't believe County Road 80 has it.
Okay.
If there were certain intersections out there, maybe closer to the Belglade, it probably has lighting at those intersections, but not along County Road 80.
Yeah, I may be mistaken. I thought there was a project to provide light for County Road. Again, I may be mistaken. The other question is, if this is transferred to DOT, is the county still doing the bridges?
Yes, the county are doing the 2 bridges. Yes.
Okay, and kind of curious, there's already a State Route 80. What would be the new name after the FDOT takes this road?
I'm assuming this is just me guessing. I would guess it's State Road 880. Right?
There's already one.
There's already State Road 880. There's State Road 80. Yeah.
Anybody else? Okay. I'm just curious why, if we could have gotten some of this information prior to the meeting, so that we could take a look at what was being proposed. I saw here and I didn't really quite, I would have liked to have understood what was going on a little bit more. So in the future, if you could provide your PowerPoint, to the MPO so that we can get the information. How big is the right of way width?
I'm not exactly familiar with how big the right of way is in that section.
And so I was looking at the connection, and I understand the economic value and the agricultural industry that this supports. I'm just wondering, since it's such a significant reconstruction of the road, do you have any conceptual sections? Is it just a 2-lane road, so there's no shared use path, or even some sort of thoughts for the future as part of this, so that, there's a lot of work that's going into it, based on the right-of-way width? I mean, is it 80 feet? Is there room when you do the reconstruction and you pull out the muck to go ahead and provide for the future so that a possible shared use path along a very much continuous canal, which could provide future, I'm not talking about, 5 years, I'm more talking about 20 years, when the connections between Belglade and West Palm will become less and less of a distance and more of a desire for people to recreate or even use that as a transportation route. Traveling along a canal with a shared use path, which this seems like it's pretty continuous, is a phenomenal amenity to not dismiss. So I didn't hear anything about shared use path or the future or, oh, well, let's look at trying to widen and remove the muck so that maybe we don't have to build it now. But in the future, you do an extra 20 feet and then you can come back and get another grant and because it's in the FDOT program, and I don't know where this is, because then it's a DOT. Is this on the tier 1 or tier 2, or are there any, where it can be placed then? There are no facilities. Let's plan for the facilities. And that's why we're here, to be honest with you. I mean, to come to us and to say we're not doing any facilities to the Vision Zero Advisory Committee is a disservice. So at least speak to what could be done, or just say nobody wants the path, those kinds of things. So I just encourage you all to think about the future. This not only is South Florida growing significantly, we've got so many more people moving to this area, and these farmlands today are the future of where people are going to be going and for construction and access and living.
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing up the shared use path. I think it just depends on if we're able to get funding and how much money we have to be able to handle, because it is a lot of money to be able to have to do this project as a whole. It just depends on how much funding we're able to acquire if we can do that. So yeah.
Design standards for the like you're still being kept on design standards.
Sorry.
The design standards for typical section on 1.5 years.
Yeah, I think we are trying to meet the FDOT criteria for this road. So it just depends on the amount of funding we were able to receive.
I could follow up too. Design, as Charlie mentioned, is going to start here in a few months. So obviously we'll be tracking that and those considerations.
So I think understand there's no money, there might not be a demand today, but the bit of ask is, while you're tearing up the road, removing the muck, see if you can widen it a little bit more so that you don't have to come back and remove the muck and do significant improvements in the future, and that adding that shared use path later, maybe it's an evolution of things. I was a little worried when you said, today the truckers will go into the shoulder because of the wheel path. And I completely get that, understand that. But just, we're spending $34 million. Is there an additional amount to just widen that muck removal for the future so that the thoughts of future can be established? Another thing too is it'd be worthwhile. This is an area where there's hardly any development, a lot of agriculture, but have you looked at any under road critter crossings or wildlife crossings in conjunction with bridge crossings so that there's an opportunity for animals to cross safely? It's it's agriculture today, but there are dips in that where animals still walk through. And while you're digging up the road and redoing it, now is the time to think about those types of things. So we're not just planning for ourselves. These critter crossings can also be used by for trails for the future and utilized for corridors for people and recreation too. So big projects, 34 million. Let's make sure we get all of those things that we think of in the future. So I look forward to seeing this in more detail. I understand there's things you can't talk about, but I'd really love to see like the road section, how wide it is, and, planning for the future. And I get it for today, but while we're here and while you come in front of us, we're gonna give you a little things to think about. Thank you for coming. Don't think that I'm trying to pick on you either. I'm just trying to.
I totally understand. So,
Okay.
no, I appreciate your comments.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Was there anybody else who wants to ask Charlie questions? Nobody else? Okay. So, any more discussion? If not, can I get a motion to approve the inclusion of this new project in the tip? Fadi, motion to approve.
Second.
David with a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. With a caveat that you come back, Charlie, and show us what you're doing, okay? Okay, thank you. Okay, so next item is the draft. They're informational items, draft fiscal year 2027 to 2031. The tip was developed in collaboration with the FDOT and local agencies and includes federally and state-funded transportation projects. And Matthew Mesa, Senior Transportation Planner, will present this item.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members. Yep, I'm going to be presenting the 2731 draft tip. Is your reading this month, and then the next month it will go before the governing board members for final adoption. So to just go over some basics, the MPO coordinates on all federal and state transportation investments within the county. They're all listed within the tip, which you'll see in your backups. The federal funds we direct are received as an MPO or prioritized in our list of priority projects and are mainly meant to be utilized in the urban area seen on the map. So to go over just generally what is the Transportation Improvement Program, it's a list of projects by phase and funding for the next 5 fiscal years. Currently, we operate under the 26 through 30 fiscal years, and now we're moving into that new 5th year. So you can see the phasing is now mainly going to be focused on those construction parts in the latter years of the current tip. And you'll see in the backups that most of the phasing and programming that's already been established should not be changing. And we do this in order to maintain work program stability. So that's to ensure that projects are programmed and production schedules are kept in line. So from planning to programming, PD&E, PE, down to right-of-way acquisitions if needed, and then again, construction. And you can see the timeline there of the estimated times for each of those phases. And the whole process, development process for that, you go through the LRTP initially. So this was done back in the winter and spring of 2025, where we had the LRTP priorities, project applications, feasibility reviews, and new project rankings. We then go into the list of priority projects, and this is where the MPO adopts our LOPP. You'll see that we'll have the major projects and local initiatives, transportation alternatives, and Sun Trail programs that are recommended. And then we go into the draft tentative work programs, or DTWP, where we request additional changes and deletions. FDOT then presents that per the statute for recommendation into incorporation into the snapshot. And that is where we are today, presenting the 27 to 31 tip with a final adoption again in June. And then the tip is broken down into 4 major buckets with several different types of project sections. So the MPO priority projects, again, that's major projects, our LI program, which is coming to an end and finalizing full programming. We have our Transportation Alternatives Program and our Sun Trail projects. FDOT has their own priorities and other projects, so that'll include your Strategic Intermodal System, our SIS network, our other federally and state-funded projects, the airport, railroads, and seaport. And then you'll also see in that bucket the District 4 district-wide projects. We also have operations and maintenance, so that's your roadway repavements, resurfacings, transit operations and maintenance as well. So for PalmTran, SFRTA. And then locally funded, this is an informational item we provide at the MPO, and that's just to show countywide projects and local projects. And again, that's informational. And then just to give you a quick guide, in the backup, you have your summary tables. So on the left, you'll see your year in priority, the common years for the adopted tip. So this new, soon to be new tip will be the 27 through 31 years. That new fifth year being 31 again. And then we also add another column for additional funding that might be needed for projects into the future, and any notes. Quick overview. This is the funding summary for the proposed tip. $3 billion federal state turnpike funds here in the county. Majority of that, it's going to be about 1.6 going towards SIS capacity projects and mainly to the turnpike capacity projects, which is about 1.4. We'll get into that later. And then the MPO prioritizes 418 million of those dollars. So 249 goes to the Atlantic, 249 goes to roadway capacity. So that includes your State Road 7 and Atlantic projects. We also have 63 million going into complete streets, 73 million going into signals and intersections, 20 million going into transit vehicles and shelters, and then 14 million going into lighting and safety projects. And again, those are dollars that we can prioritize. And then just to give a more detailed breakdown, we have 5 major project updates. So that's going to be the Forest Hill Boulevard lighting and bus stops, Congress Avenue lighting and crosswalks, Indian Town Road at Central Boulevard design, and then pictured on the right is the one of the concepts for that intersection. It's not the final concept. We also have Palm Beach County flashing yellow arrows on the state system and Palm Beach County signal upgrades, all scheduled for 31 with the exception of Indian Town and PE in 28. For LI, all the LI initiatives for the MPO have been fully programmed at this point. The last one is this one, which is our Palm Beach County flashing yellow arrows, and this is for off the state system roadways. And then for our transportation alternatives, we have 4 new projects all slated for construction in fiscal year 29. And briefly, Northeast 2nd Ave from Lake Wharf Road to Congress Ave pathways. We have North Military Trail from Gardens Lake Drive to 95, as well as Winchester Drive to the East 3 Canalway or Canal Pathway. And then we have Northeast 4th Ave from Swinton to Northeast Central or Northeast 7th Street, that's traffic calming project. And then we have Kirk from 10th to Canal 9 Road, and that is a shared use pathway. And then on the right, it's part of these TA applications we like to show off. So this is part of what you would see in an application process where we get a typical section. These are these are included as part of those applications to get programmed and the kind of projects you might see in this program. The strategic intermodal system, so our SIS, this is that 1.6 billion SIS capacity projects. Again, we have 1.45 billion set aside for turnpike capacity, and then we have 112 million set aside for 11 I-95 interchange new modification. New might be a new interchange, or it might be ramp designs, repaving, etc. 95, we have 3 diverging diamond interchange projects coming up. So that's 10th Ave, Lantana Road, and Hypoluxo. We also have 2 tight diamond interchanges. That's at Central and 45th. Construction should slated to begin this year for North Lake Boulevard, North Lake Boulevard's project. And then we also have in the fiscal year 27, we have Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard and Forest Hill Boulevard. If there's not a tight diverging diamond, a tight diamond interchange or a diverging diamond interchange identifier, typically that's again those ramps or simple modifications to the interchange, not a full redesign. And then same thing, we have turnpike projects now, majority of them, with the exception of Hypoluxo being a new interchange, but they're all widening projects throughout the county. Majority of them are under construction right now, with Okeechobee Boulevard and Beeline slated to begin this year. And then Glades Road also slated to begin next fiscal year. And then again, final adoption will be at the June 18th meeting. So this is the current public review period. You can go to our palmbeachmpo.org, palmbeachmpo.org/tip to view our interactive tip tool. They'll have all the project details, phasing, and funding costs. And then as soon as we get mapping data, we'll also have an interactive map set up so you can view project locations. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Matthew. David, we have any questions?
Yeah, this is just curiosity's sake. I drive the turnpike from Boynton Beach up to West Palm every day. It appears that construction's almost done. They're putting up the signs, they're putting up the sound walls. Do you know the approximate finish time for that project?
I can double check for you, but I can double check you and get back to you.
Yeah,
before-
it seems very close. I mean, somebody that's driven in that construction for years and years, I'm salivating just waiting for it to be done. 3 lanes.
Yeah, no, it's most of it's getting done. It's been going south to north. So now we're seeing that construction really ramp up in central and north county. So if you ever drive Southern Boulevard now and Turnpike, that project's like that phasing is now getting underway heavily. And then again, into the next fiscal year, you'll start seeing it move more north to Beeline. So I could get you the exact date. If not, we can coordinate with FDOT to see what
It's
the exact
exciting
date
to
is.
see big projects, finally come to an end. So,
Yeah, and it's good to see the projects finally get realized.
right, exactly.
I forgot to ask for public comment.
No, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Body.
Interchanges, one at Turnpike Hypoluxo. What is the other one?
Turnpike. Ruth, can you go back to the PowerPoint? It was central, I believe. Let's see. Yeah. Well, yeah, central. So central for 95 and then Hypoluxo for Turnpike.
95 and Central?
Yeah.
Just about the interchange, the Turnpike and Southern Boulevard.
Mhm.
I know in the old days when you had to pay for the Turnpike, they had a kind of crazy rent configuration.
Mm.
Are they moving to some kind of simple damage or they could not do it over there? Instead of going all over to Pike and go down?
For Southern, it's more of a focus on the widening, not the interchange itself. So that's where you're seeing the widening to 8 lanes, where the bridge is being widened at the moment. The ramps, I don't believe are being touched, but I can, yeah, that one will be the same.
Anyone else have any questions? Farah?
I was just gonna ask, I saw the 20 million towards transit and shelters. Is that mostly maintenance and shelters or also operational funding?
That's mostly a light engine.
The shelters are mostly new construction, yes. So replacement of existing shelters in some locations. So there's a Palm Trans applied previously through our programs, both for shelters countywide, which is a list of those. And then there's also one specifically on Okeechobee Boulevard. So enhanced shelters on Okeechobee Boulevard, similar to what we've done in US 1 that's being rolled out. And then there's also new replacements of current shelters and new shelters throughout the county.
So none of it is for operational funding, right?
Correct. None of it's for operations.
Any more comments from the board? I have one on the table for the Sun Trail program. It lists, if you could coordinate with DOT on this one, but it lists for the Jupiter project, US 1 from Indiantown to the village of Tequesta limits. It actually goes based on their proposed recommended alignment, it's going to go up to Tequesta Drive. So just want to make sure that's documented if,
Sure, we can get that. I think for for the major projects you're talking about this, are you talking about the Sun Trail list or the major projects list?
what's table 4 on the Sun Trail program that's listed in the tip? Is that?
Yeah, if it's Sun Trail, we'll make sure that it gets updated. For the section that is in Juno Beach specifically, that one was a concept that we worked with DOT on, but there's still no Sun Trail funding, so we'll try to make sure that gets updated to
Right.
West Drive.
Right. Yeah, because it goes a little bit further. And then just for the board, one of the things that why I continue to be here and be involved is because, when we sit here and we hear about all these things regionally, it provides us opportunities to make better for our community, but also coordinate with others regionally. But for example, this Sun Trail program that the town was able to be a part of, it allows us to utilize state dollars to make our existing Riverwalk Trail along the waterfront and the intracoastal and the inlet stronger, because then it links to a regional and a statewide system. But then it also provides opportunities for us to link it and make it even better by getting coordination and connecting to our surrounding municipalities. So, and then, getting money to help us, but it helps us, but it also helps the greater good. So that's why I think it's one of the things to keep in mind as we go through here, as opposed to, getting money, but also making it better.
Thank you. We'll make sure we coordinate that.
Thank you. What's that? What's that, Tracy? Did you have a comment?
I was trying to get in.
Oh. Okay, Tracy. All right, if we don't have any more comments on that one, we can move forward with,
Sure.
what do we have here? Safe Streets for All and Vision Zero Action Plan updates. And Margie Tamblin, our senior multimodal planner, will be providing us that presentation.
Good morning, everyone, again. All right, so I'm here to give you an update on the SS4A, so Safe Streets and Roads for All, and the Vision Zero Action Plan. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, I reached out to a variety of municipalities that have previously applied and been awarded funding for action plans and planning and demonstration grants. So if you have an update and it's not present on the table, let us know. We'd love to hear more about it. And if you're planning again to apply for the fiscal year 26 funding cycle, also let us know. We're happy to provide a support letter and a confirmation of our coordination with you to FHWA. And again, those applications are due on May 26, 2026 at 5 p.m. And then to get into the fiscal year 26 report for the Vision Zero Action Plan, there's some fun items to share with you. And as always, we typically focus on the 5 E's. So that's engineering, education, encouragement, evaluation, and enforcement. And we also kind of partner those two approaches together. So safe systems approach and then the 5 E's. So safer people, safer vehicles, safer speeds, safer roads, and in the event that there's a crash, post-crash care. And to get into engineering, we were able to deliver 3 technical assistances in project development efforts. And those were in regard to corridor studies, things of that nature. We've done 3 electronic review comments completed on roadways here in Palm Beach County. And you can see that on the left-hand side of the screen, kind of what that looks like. Some of you may be familiar with submitting electronic review comments to provide comments on plans, roadway plans, lighting plans, things of that nature from FDOT to let them know of things that they might have missed or maybe that we need to bring attention to. We did 3 roadway safety audits in partnership with FDOT. We conducted 5 walk-bike safety audits at local elementary schools, and that is about it in regard to engineering. And education. We were able to deliver 10 outreach, tabling, and training events, and we were able to reach 393 people at those safety fairs, tablings, and trainings. The MPO hosted 3 committee meetings focused on SS4A and Vision Zero. We also had 2 workshops that reached 111 people. And those workshops were the e-bike and micromobility and building support for walkable and bikeable communities. We had 1 crash reporting toolkit rollout. And then in regard to Safe Routes to School, again, those 5 walk bike safety audits at local elementary schools. We had a Safe Routes to School workshop right here. And then we are working on completing that Safe Routes to School action plan, hopefully by June. And in terms of encouragement, we had 5 community encouragement events. So that's like an example of that is walk and roll to school day, bike month activities, lots of proclamations, safety events, helmet fittings, things of that nature. So we had 260 participants that were reached through those encouragement activities. And the Palm Beach MPO, if you weren't aware, is named one of the best workplaces for commuters and is also a bicycle-friendly business. We completed 1 local mobility plan, and we have 2 that are ongoing and 1 that is tentatively in the works. In regard to enforcement, we have an ongoing countywide tracking effort to check out school zone safety camera implementation. And we are also working with local jurisdictions on speed management, as we know that's a big issue across the county. And in regard to evaluation, we had 1 annual Vision Zero progress report that was published and presented, 4 safety-focused workshops that are completed or planned, 1 staff Vision Zero orientation, 8 coalition meetings that were attended statewide and locally with 3 more that are scheduled, 1 crash dashboard update, and continuous project tracking for transportation alternatives, local initiatives, and major projects. We're working on a before and after evaluation to check and see how these projects have performed. The idea with the project is to have some kind of improvement in the facility, and we just want to have a good way to track that. So we're working on that. And then we have a central repository of safety plans that are maintained and updated here in-house. So if you have any plans that we don't have, we'd love to have them. And with that, that is all I have. Does anyone have any fun events? Thank you, Stephanie, for bringing that up at the beginning of the meeting. Any fun events or things that are happening in your communities that you want to share with us? We love to share them with our community and share the flyer. So if you have anything going on, that would be great to know about. Any questions, comments, concerns?
David?
I got to attend one of the walk bike safety audits, and I think it's really educational, especially for people like us. And I honestly would have liked to have gone to more, but you guys sent us the appointments like really close to when it was actually going on, and I already had those times booked. If it'd be possible, maybe next time, please do it again next year, that time of year, and maybe send it out a couple weeks early.
Got it.
And because I'll block out my calendar and go to 3 or 4.
Okay. I think we'll send calendar holds in the future just to make sure people have it on their schedule and on their radar, because I think we didn't have things nailed down precisely, and we didn't want to send anything without having everything very clear and concise. So, but yes, noted, and we will do that next.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone
Anybody
else on the board? Any public comments? Keep mixing that one up.
No, Madam Chair.
Okay, perfect. All right. I think we're making our way through the agenda. The last items are administrative. They're items 4A through 4C, and they're informational only. You can read them at your leisure. If you have any questions, I'm sure Margie will be happy to answer them. The next governing board meeting is, oh wait, it says March. The next meeting for us is July 2nd. So right before the holiday. So everybody be here. I know you want to. So thank you, everybody. And with that, we can adjourn.